You're listening to iCannabisRadio.com.
Hello and welcome to In the Lab with Jennifer. We're a little frazzled because Chris is out today and Sam just went, oh my God, we're on the air. So anyway, Tamar, how you doing today?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I
like
good.
your glasses.
Thanks.
Getting used to them.
Yeah, I had them on. I had my black ones on last week. I was explaining to people now that I can't see because I was rebelling because they say when you're over 40, you know, that your eyesight starts to go. And so I rebelled for like 2 years. And then I was like, I better get some. I mean, they're not bad. They're like 30 over 20 or something like that.
I was legally blind. I have LASIK surgery.
Oh, do you? And I didn't know LASIK lasts forever either.
Well, I don't. I think you still,
You do.
after 40s, you still have similar.
Yeah, it like
aging.
a muscle. It. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we have a very special guest today. We have Josh Stanley.
Well, it's so nice to be here.
Well, it's so nice to have you. It's been a long time since Science Corner. Corner.
It's been about a year, right?
It has, like almost exactly. When did you guys stop the radio show?
I think it was a year, well, maybe 2 weeks over past a year. No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So almost exactly. So it's thanks to Josh that I actually have a radio show. Thank you, Josh, because
Awesome.
he got me interested. Yeah. So the story is, him and his brothers were on American Weed, and they decided not to continue to do that, but they still wanted to spread the good word. So they had a radio show on here, actually, and then they decided they wanted to do a science corner. So my previous chemist and I would come in and do, and I just fell in love with it. So
It is fun.
yeah, it's very fun.
Well, you're doing a great job. A lot of the parents we still talk to are, they reference you all the time. So thank you.
That's so great because honestly, that's pretty much why, I'm moving it forward is for the parents and for people to actually have an outlet because I know it's got to be so hard because you guys are extremely busy trying to help as many people as you can, and people don't get their question asked, especially if they're in an illegal state. They have nowhere to go, and there's so much misinformation out there. So
It's all over the place. I mean, there's hundreds of families, and that number's growing every day, that are coming here from not just the country, but all over the world. And you can imagine, well, how you would feel if it was your child. You have no idea. I'm going to move to a place called Colorado, and I'm going to give my child a cannabis treatment. And this might be the only thing that could save my kid's life. I mean, imagine, for us, we do it every day, and so we become a little bit numb to it. But that's not only a big move; it's very, very scary, and that takes up a lot of our time. Certainly, Heather, Mandy, and the women at the Realm and the front office answering those questions. I mean, we're getting 4,000 calls a month.
Wow, and then to get for people to start getting rude and stuff is awful because. They have to understand it's a nonprofit. Nobody is getting paid. And it's like, it's hard. And I had the girls on a couple of weeks ago and, they just said to be patient, that they're doing all they can to help. And so that's kind of why, this radio show and then Cam Labs and other people offer their services as well. But we can't get enough doctors on board.
No, we can't. And by this time, by where we sit right now to date, I thought that we'd have a backlog of physicians. But, I can't blame it on the physicians. I blame it on the Drug Enforcement Administration, on the American Medical Association, and insurance companies, and they provide these fear tactics. I mean, the information is there. The days, in my opinion anyway, at least for medical marijuana, activism is over. For recreational activism can be out there all you want, but the proof is here, and we've been giving that proof for a long time. Doctors see it, neurologists see it, epileptologists see it. It's not them. They can't lose their license. That's their livelihood. So, I'm a little surprised that we haven't had more doctors come on board.
When we were talking about that last show, actually, I went to, Jen and I have been to multiple events. I was up in New York for a epilepsy and CBD treatment.
With Orrin Davinsky?
And so, you're right. The clinicians want to actively study it because the science, the truth and the facts are there. What, really resonated with me is a lot of the doctors were saying the issue isn't that we don't want to do it, it's that we can't get the funding. And, it's that fear of, Josh, you were saying, fear tactics. They can't go through the steps of actually doing the testing or, the clinical studies. Right. So a lot of the doctors there were actually from out of the country because those other countries don't have as stringent of fines.
Exactly. I don't know if you know this, Josh, because you've been out of town, but my dad has prostate cancer, and he just got his prostate removed 3 weeks ago. I got him set up with the best medicine on the planet. But it looks like the cancer has spread, and I'm going to know more about it. But of course, doing my due diligence, I've found several other treatments that some are offered in Tijuana and other places because of all the red tape here and everything like that. And I think that I understand it was designed to protect us and the FDA was designed to protect us, but I think a lot of the time it inhibits us. And I think we should be allowed to choose treatments for us if we're willing to sign away things.
Well, the FDA was originally designed. First off, I'm very sorry to hear that about your father. That breaks my heart. I'm very sorry. I know it'll work out. But the FDA, it's kind of like any government organization. Back in FDR's day, and Woodrow Wilson, we got license plates, and it was a nickel a year. Look where we are now with it, okay? The FDA is just another government organization. It was designed for our protection, and then pretty soon it got involved in profits. And now we sit in a society where our health is traded on the public exchange as a commodity. And so is our freedom. And so, I hate to say this, but don't think for a minute that the FDA is necessarily on your side. It's a for-profit situation, and when your health and your freedom are based on commodities, we've skipped down the road a little bit too far, maybe even too far, where it's going to take all-out revolution of change as opposed to just slow recovery.
And we've been talking about that. I mean, I've talked about it with recently extremist survivalist who, is loading his place up on land and getting ready for it because clearly we need something catastrophic to happen before we do anything, right?
Well, Bob Marley said it, and I don't like repeating it, but I think he might be right, and that seems like destruction is the only solution.
Right. And so I can't see anything moving forward with our economy and anything like this without having something devastating happen. And, it was very exciting, and we'll talk to you about it, about the Sanjay Gupta interview and everything like that. And the timing of the government coming out after he said, that he was wrong. So how much do you think what he said had to do with that coming out?
Everything. It had everything to do with it. And, we want to thank you. You were a big catalyst in helping bring CNN in. And in doing so, it's become a team effort. Because
that's right.
As we grouped up with Sanjay, as soon as he's changed his mind on it, just a quick example for you.
Yeah,
6 months ago,
let's talk about it.
6 months ago, or this was about 7 months ago now, I went into and I had a high-level meeting with the Epilepsy Foundation here in Colorado. Well, just meeting with me and one of my associates and going in and showing them videos and information about these kids, it was hey, this is a really interesting thing, but we're probably going to pass on it. But they still let us put some things on their website. We just weren't going to play ball with us. Sanjay says I was wrong. There is medicinal benefit, and there's medicinal benefit in spades, not just in pediatric epilepsy. Right. And boom, the phone call, Paige called back and got an audience with them, and now we're working hand in hand with them. I mean, we're on their T-shirts, we're on their runs, and now
that's gigantic.
That's gigantic because typically, as people see when they go through cancer, when they go through epilepsy, Parkinson's, MS, whatever the case may be, medical cannabis is the last stop on the totem pole. Well, it doesn't have to be. And when you're talking about a situation like pediatric epilepsy, you have a child who, unfortunately, with this type of disease, their life expectancy is not that long. And so they don't have all of these other Depakotes and Onfis and all of these different pharmaceuticals to go through. They need to find something that works and works fast. And the Epilepsy Foundation here in Colorado has been so courageous and stood with us and said, hey, this should be looked at as a first line of defense. That's huge.
Oh, my God.
So we've been looking for years for these kids, you know. So
Right.
I think more and more I know more and more people are, because if you just look at some of the local polling numbers, you don't even have to look at the Gallup polls from, Washington Post or even ABC. But you look at local polling numbers, and they have shifted dramatically since August 11th, when Sanjay's documentary aired. I mean, we're talking polls in Arkansas, Alabama, Mississippi.
Thank God, in the states we need.
That's right, and these are going to be the swing states. And I got some other things I can talk about later if you want me to. But
yes,
really exciting stuff.
Well, and TED, but let's keep
we're talking
going
about
there.
TED, yeah. But we in these states now, you're starting to see these shift. And why are you seeing these shift? Is because people are opening their eyes now to the fact that this has nothing to do with a political affiliation, whether you're on the left, you're on the right, you're in the middle. It doesn't have anything to do with it. It has nothing to do with what creator you choose to worship. It crosses all religious grounds. And so I believe that what Sanjay, I'll say, has been able to do and bring to the public in the last 3 months has been miraculous. And we've probably moved, I would say, 3 to 5 years ahead just in that amount of time in perception. Yesterday, an article written up in the Daily Oklahoman. Oklahoma is traditionally one of the strongest red states in the country.
Which is where your family is from, isn't it?
We are from Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
My aunt lives there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
But it's definitely not pot friendly.
Well, no, it's not pot friendly. I mean, even a concentrate there can get you a life sentence.
Wow.
And so, but these are the states that we need to go tackle. These are the states people said, no, leave them alone. Don't go out there. Don't mess with these people. And I said, no, that's absolutely incorrect.
Right.
And so what, my MO and what I like to do and what we're doing now, I'm happy to tell you, on November 2nd, we have Oklahoma's first cannabis conference at the state capitol, with families coming in to talk about Charlotte's Web, cannabidiol therapy. Paige is going to be there with me. We've got retired law enforcement officer that's working with us out there. Senator Connie Johnson will be there.
Fantastic.
And all members of the press and all of the parents and anyone who seeks this for their children, so that we can go after some type of an emergency compassionate use law that can be enacted.
Right.
So these kids, Oklahoma touches Colorado and its panhandle. And there's no reason why these parents shouldn't be able to cross state lines with this and come back and get this treatment for their kids. Once your child is diagnosed with intractable epilepsy, I don't care how much money you have, you're broke. And you can't afford to pick up and move to Colorado. And so I think we can get it where I think we're gonna make a lot of room there, because we're gonna even be addressing the Bureau of Narcotics division in Oklahoma, and really what? Oh, nice, you pulled it up, yeah.
ABC's.
Oh yeah, I posted it on my website.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
it's awesome.
Whoopsie.
Yeah.
I know. I was so excited. I thought something about the Oklahoma was on it, but that is so exciting.
Well, think about the next red state. What's the next most red state out there? Utah, right?
Oh yeah.
November 12th. We're going to be going out, just Paige, myself, and one of our chief science guys from Canada, and we're going to go and we're going to address with parents in Utah, amazing parents that we've been working with, Jennifer Hardy May, and I mean just some
Landon's mom.
wonderful people.
Right.
Landon's mother, we've got Laura Warburton, and we're going to be in Utah, and we're going to
Where in Utah?
Salt Lake. We're going to be addressing
Okay.
the Substance Abuse Committee of Utah, and we're going to be going for an immediate compassionate use law because this plant has as much or less THC than the ditchweed that they don't even bother going to cut down, and the hemp, that's sitting on the side of the highways, but they won't even waste
So
taxpayers'
true.
dollars to cut it
So
down.
true.
Just because this is high in a non-psychoactive substance does not mean that these children shouldn't have it. There are 30 families and growing in Utah right now of kids with intractable epilepsy that need it.
Wow, 30. That's incredible. Okay, I'm getting the notice for the break, so we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Ideal 420 soil is preloaded to perfection with all your nutrient, microbial, and biostimulant needs. It's compatible with all strains and is good for a 22-week grow cycle from seed to harvest. This product is 100% organic and gives your marijuana that awesome aroma and smooth taste we all desire. Ideal 420 Technologies is well-grounded in soil chemistry, soil physics, and microbial biology, making them the most advanced soil company in the marijuana industry. They do the science so growers can focus on what truly matters, the plants themselves. No more mixing and feeding of expensive nutrient lines, supplements, and foliar sprays. Not to mention, the company is prideful in being the most consistent soil product that has yet to hit the market. Due to the results when using Ideal 420 soil, they are quickly changing the standard for cannabis cultivation. To order the product, go to ideal420soil.com. Use promo code INTHELAB for an additional 20% off.
This segment was brought to you by The Farm, a medical marijuana care center located at 2801 Iris Street in Boulder. The Farm carries premium cannabis, edibles, and Hummingbird brand products. Visit our new cannabis lifestyle store for your local artesian glass, vaporizers, and hemp clothing. The Farm has been serving Boulder since 2009. Isn't it time you come and see what we have to offer?
Hi, Josh Stanley here from National Geographic's American Weed. I'm here with my brothers, and we've just recently put together a foundation in Colorado to allow for cancer patients and other patients of debilitating conditions to be able to get a hold of cannabis-based oil that's just about free of charge. I've just about had it with seeing sick patients suffer needlessly just because they can't afford the proper medication. That's what the Realm of Caring is going to change. Visit therealmofcaring.com. The website will be complete and up on 4/20 of 2012. But until then, please contact any of us Stanley brothers directly through email. You can get us at gratefuljosh@hotmail.com. Now come on, Colorado. We need to take care of each other. Join the Realm. That's realmofcaring.com. Thank you so much.
The law offices of Edson, Maton, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
In Dispensary in Colorado Springs is proud to support Overgrow the Radio. With 2 locations in Colorado Springs, In Dispensary invites you to discover what true selection and values feel like. Always featuring an incredible array of Stanley Brothers medicine as well as full line of edible and infused products. In Dispensary is open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week, 364 days a year. You owe it to your health and well-being to discover In Dispensary. West Side location at 3044 West Colorado and East Side location at 3031 East Platte in Colorado Springs. In Dispensary is your destination for indispensable quality medicine.
All right, and we're back. So let's talk about the Realm of Caring and what happened, how it came about, and how we even found out about kids and seizures and Paige and all of that.
Well, none of us would have found anything about this if it weren't for Paige and if it weren't for Charlotte. She came and she found my brother Joel back in February of 2012.
Right.
And it said, my daughter Charlotte has lost her life skills. She's been sent home, to basically die. We've made our preparations. We've signed our do not resuscitate orders. And we figured we might as well give this a shot. And she was able to find some high CBD strain out there, but I guess there wasn't much of it, and it was very expensive. And it did wonders. And we coincidentally had this, and I was working on it, and Joel called me, and I said, hey, I have these plants. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. So let's try this on Charlotte. And then it was Zakai. And then it
Right.
was so on and so
Right.
on. And now it's so many kids and so many more we're trying to add every day. It's like we were saying at break, it's taken on a life of its own, the realm of caring has. And I know for all of you out there watching and listening, I apologize. We all apologize. Like Jennifer said, we're doing the best we can. I promise you that. I mean, my brothers have literally gone into debt to build 2 more massive greenhouses. That's all we're growing up there is Charlotte's Web. That's it. In these new greenhouses right now, 70% of the crop is Charlotte's Web. If we could grow this like we could grow corn in a field, then all the kids and probably the United States right now would be taken care of. But we can't do that. And so we have to grow within the state law, within what it is that we're capable of doing. But very soon all the kids will be taken care of. And, as of August 11th, the realm of caring exploded. It got a shot of steroids after the documentary Weed aired, and then it became global knowledge. And so we were hardly equipped to take 200 calls a week, let alone 4,000.
Right.
So we know the need out there, and we're working to take donations. We're working on investment dollars to come in. We're working on building the infrastructure that you deserve, that you parents deserve. And in the meantime, just know that Heather, Mandy, Paige, everybody in that back office is 24/7 right now for you. So little patience, we'll get there. But the realm has taken on a life of its own. It's been a blessing, the ultimate blessing in my brother's life, in my life, in Paige, Heather, Mandy. I know I can say that. Jennifer, you've seen it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
our ultimate blessing just to be a part of your lives and just to have the opportunity to serve your children and your families.
Well, and you know what's great about the whole thing too, besides the obvious, okay, the kids, but Paige, like she has this undeniable like energy and passion that spreads. And so when a parent sees her, parent to parent, they're like, wow, this is for real. And it just, I just think it's gave her so much too. Not that you would ever wish your kid was sick, but if Charlotte wasn't sick, then there wouldn't be all of this, right? We wouldn't have the realm currently. So she's got to think she's helping way more than her daughter.
Well, Paige has an air about her. Paige is a very, very intelligent person, and she has an energy about her. And when a parent meets her, or Heather for that matter,
Right,
it's
both of them,
one
of
and
course,
the same.
yeah.
And they meet them, and they get a hug from them. It's family at that point. They realize that, hey, listen, they've been here before. Okay, they know how scary it is. They know how hard it was. They're here for you, and that's why we called it the realm of caring. It's a family of caring. It's a network of caring. And it's parent for parent, child for child, brother for brother. And that's what's made it so special. And people understand right whenever they come in to get assistance, or they ask a question, or they meet Paige or Heather for the first time, we hear it over and over. Okay, they say, I'm home. Oh my
I
goodness.
know, and I see the posts on Facebook and of families moving here, and it's like you said, they're broke, they're emotionally broke, they're financially broke, and to actually see a happy face from a parent that's child was almost dead a year ago. I mean, it's there's nothing like it.
There's no words for it. Last night we were at Zakai's
Yes,
1
that I
year
couldn't
seizure
come.
free
I'm
anniversary.
so sad. I missed it.
Well, it's okay. It was great. A couple hundred people showed
Oh
up.
my God, it's fantastic.
Kids running everywhere. Parents there. When you get to meet a parent that came from. I met parents that came from Atlanta, from Florida,
Wow.
from Ohio. All over the place. And some parents have got on the treatment, and their kids are doing great. They're gaining weight. Everything's moving in a positive direction. And then other parents are still on the waiting list and waiting to get the medicine. The optimism, the hope that's
The
in their
hope,
eyes
yes.
that hadn't been there before. And it's not a misery loves company situation, but when you get around people that have been through the same type of struggles like this, it's a comfortable feeling. And
That's
I
right.
couldn't imagine packing up my sick child and my spouse and my other children and my dog and all my belongings and moving to Colorado. just on the whim of a plant. But that's what these parents are doing. And why are they doing it? Because they see the courage and the tenacity and the efficacy in Paige and Heather and all of these other
And
parents who have
all of you
gone
guys,
before.
everyone involved. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. It's a phenomenon, you know,
it
it really
is
is.
a
It's a
phenomenon.
phenomenon. And while we're honored to have these families move from all over the country and the world, my job out there is to go out and change laws.
Right.
And work with these legislatures and not make enemies and not activate, but make friends and let them know that, hey, we're here for children. We're here for health. That's it. No more. We're not trying to sneak cannabis into your state.
Right.
But that's really what my arm of the realm is doing, is going out and so that these families don't have to make that ludicrous move anymore.
And yeah, I can't. Well, you and I don't have kids, but
No.
if we did, I can't even imagine packing Gigi up and moving to a different state. So,
No.
yeah.
Or moving myself. Gosh. That's
Right.
why I don't have kids, because look
Right.
at me.
How can you move yourself, let alone kids? Well, okay. So recently, tell me about. So how many calls would you say the Realm was getting before Sanjay came out, and then after?
I mean, I would say we're probably getting about 100 calls,
100?
80
Okay.
calls, 120 calls a week, somewhere in that area,
And then to 4,000.
and then up to 4,000. And
And I get some of those calls too, because
do, yeah.
which is great. I mean, I'm glad to take on some of that as well. In fact, I've worked real closely with, somebody that I won't say on air, but he's growing in a prospective state that's illegal, and that's all he can do for his kid. And God forbid if anybody, and I know you're working on so people wouldn't have to do this, but God forbid if your peers would convict you on growing for your child. It's medicine.
I don't think that's going to happen. But the issue is, what have we seen? We've even seen it in Kansas in the last 1 or 2 years, and I think we talked about it on the old show. Are the people that are growing for themselves. Okay, probably the one case that was in Kansas a year ago was an old man for his arthritis, making topicals, brought up on charges. It broke him. It broke his bank. But he said, I'm going to a jury trial. And they threw it out. They won.
Really?
So now you're wasting our time. That's what's happening. But see,
Thank
that's the
God.
shift. And so thank God the jury of our peers are throwing these things out, because they're understanding how absurd it is in nature. But still, the fact that our justice system is pushing people to that point, that's going to end, though. Really is. We're making strides every day. And the strides we're making is you can't keep people asleep to this anymore.
Exactly.
You've kept everyone under this cloud of fear for 80 years. No more. You can't do it anymore. The facts speak for themselves, and you'd be amazed at what Americans are capable of if they're left to their own volition.
Yeah, and they're correctly educated as well. And that's my whole goal. My personal goal is just to, spread the word, the good word of cannabis. And, if something happens to you or a relative, at least you have that education so you can make an educated choice about if you want to use it or not.
But you didn't have that before.
You did not have that before. You really didn't. You're
This was the
absolutely
devil's
right.
weed.
Yeah.
And
Well,
we need more too. Another thing that I noticed at these conferences I've been to is nothing's going to change until it's actually taught to developing doctors, taught
Right.
in med school. One of the doctors was saying his students would come up to him and say, medical marijuana or the cannabinoid system is the best kept secret, because you have these doctors who weren't taught it right now, but currently there's enough data and facts, and they're still not being, new doctors aren't being taught. And so the knowledge is out there, you're right. It needs to be spread more, and then the ability to learn more and actually do the studies need to be opened as well.
Well, the problem is doctors are doctors of medicine. So until, they actually call it medicine, that's going to be tough. But you also have to remember that doctors only have probably a semester of, nutrition, their freshman year of med school, and they could care less about that, right? Because they're already struggling. So I think the big thing is your doctor that, or something that we can call that's in between the doctor and where you get your medicine, because at least for cannabis, because all of us know more than most doctors right now. I mean, let's just say that we do, but we can't give medical advice, nor would I ever want to give medical advice. I give opinions, and this has worked for so and so, but we really need kind of an I would say a nutritionist,
Right.
you know, the person you call when you want to better your health or when you're sick. I mean, I'm trying to find a high level nutritionist right now for my dad to get him on, you know, the best alkaline diet he can be on. So, but there are a ton of doctors that want to get in this, but they're just scared.
Well, they're scared, and even in their medical school, they're trained for symptoms. Okay, and what goes along with symptoms? Pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals don't go after cause. They go after symptoms. And why do they go after symptoms? And why does the FDA largely approve single compound medications that are synthesized? Now, synthesized, they say, for cost benefit, but I think that holds about as much water as do we need GMOs in our foods. So when they approve a single compound medication, it's because it's so that they can have two medications to counteract the side effects for that one, and then 4, and then 8, and so on. So it becomes a business, and that's what the doctors' educations have been geared for, instead of coming into a whole body, whole causal type of educational approach, which the endocannabinoid system provides. But most doctors weren't even aware of that, and every mammal has has the receptors. So it's no wonder that this plant is doing all these things. It's a mystery right now, right? And even why it's stopping epilepsy to a large extent is a mystery, because we don't definitively know. The minute that we put on, our microscopes down and we go in and we really try to study this, that's when they lock us up. You know, you can't go figure out why it's working. Oh, it's still a mystery. Well, that's still okay to them. We can still see this as a mystery, because that's still not quite a threat to the establishment yet, but we're getting close.
And Jen and I have mentioned this before, as far as real science having its roots in anecdotal science. And you're right. It's like we see all these anecdotal proofs of what's happening, and then you take that data and you can focus the light of the actual legitimate scientific studies. But you're right, we're not able to do that, because if there's still kind of a curtain covering the facts, you know, because that's just anecdotal, or that's just a personal case study, there's no actual scientific facts and numbers to prove it, then they think maybe it won't spread. But I agree with you. It's already, I think the cat is out of the bag. There's going to be more knowledge, if not from the United States, unfortunately, from other countries. Yeah, you're right. Israel, Spain, Canada. There's a lot of prominent scientists, that are really putting their minds to this. So I think it's fascinating. I agree with you as far as going to the cause, or, the master system. Instead of just picking symptoms and being retroactive, you're more preventative. It's more about health and keeping disease and sickness away, and then righting when there's some kind of unbalance. So it's homeostasis and equilibrium of the body, instead of, as you were mentioning, just a pharmaceutical cocktail of synthetic. These chemicals are made from oil. They're petrochemical, that they synthesize using the same stuff that you put in your gas tank. So, it's about education and seeing where your medicine is really coming from.
Absolutely.
And what it truly is, and the purity of it.
Absolutely.
Well, and having the ability to decide,
right?
This is what I'm going to use. That's one of the biggest misconceptions is we could make this available to everyone, but not everybody can use it. And it's freedom of choice.
Right.
And we don't have the freedom in this country to put in our own bodies what we want to put in. Right. People talk about a woman's right to choose and all of these things. And regardless where you stand on any of these issues, you do not have the right to choose what you put in your body. In fact, you are made to pay exuberant prices to poison yourself.
That is so true. Well, let's talk about, I don't know if you can, I don't know how much you can share, whatever. But what about Landon and, them trying to force him back into chemo?
Well,
what was the story there?
That's kind of case in point, We don't have
Landon
the right
has
to
leukemia.
choose.
Let's
Landon
back up.
has leukemia. Uh-huh.
How old is he?
He's 3.5.
3.5. Okay.
And Landon, I mean, what a handsome young man.
Oh
that he
my
is.
God, he is the cutest little thing. He's on the Realm of Caring, realmofcaringfoundation.org page.
Yeah, and Landon's been getting oil for some time, and I think that there's no question about it helped to put his leukemia in remission, keep it away. I think that there's no question about that at all. When you looked at his counts, night and day compared to when he was on the oil and off of it. This is a touchy situation, Should a government, should social services, child protection, should anyone come in and tell you what to do with your child? No. I think all of us emphatically say absolutely not. The sad part is that I think Sierra and the Riddle family, I think they did the right thing. I don't think there's any way that we want to stop treating Landon, that they want to stop treating Landon. I think Landon's going to get through this next year of his life with flying colors, and I believe that we'll be treating Landon on this oil for years and years to come to make sure that leukemia doesn't creep its ugly face back up. Mm-hmm. Landon's going to live a very rich and full life, and what happened to him is very, very unfortunate. I have a little bit of a differing opinion. I think that you state your case, but I was very, very scared for the Riddle family when so many people stood up and wanted to go and yell at people and throw rocks at people and get angry, because I think that only exacerbates the situation. I 100% stand behind her decision to want to keep treating and not do chemo. But at the end of the day, the powers that be are pretty powerful. And our first goal was Landon's safety and making sure that he stayed in that house.
So how did it happen? They sent a letter or something and said you have to.
Sierra was at the oncologist in Colorado Springs. And, And Sierra's a great woman, and she can have a temper, and as you might expect, with your son, if somebody told you what to do with your son. And she said, no, he's doing great, and we're not going to continue to do chemotherapy. We are going to continue to keep him on this CBD oil, and that's it, and that's that. And that's what prompted the potential call to child protection.
Okay, by the doctor saying that. Okay, I see. So, and I look at it like this. The doctor, again, 80 years of propaganda, doesn't know. I mean, they're taught to probably do that.
That's right.
They're following, their rules.
They
don't want to kill the kid either.
You have to look at it from both ways. And what I was so worried about was that there was going to be so many feathers ruffled that they were going to say, forget it. And Landon was going to get taken away. I mean, I think me and my brothers were all very, very concerned about that. Mm-hmm. But it's worked out. It's going to work out. Landon's going to remain healthy. And there's nothing that we won't do to continue to keep him supplied with oil and living a rich and full life. Saw him last night. He's, you meet sweet kids, and you meet kids that kick you in the shin. Landon is a sweet kid.
And Landon is a sweet kid. Yeah. Then you meet kids that kick you in the knee. All right, we need to take a break. We'll be right back. That's hilarious.
Canapunch is a delicious and effective medical marijuana beverage proudly made right here in Colorado. Each bottle is freshly infused with 100% pure flower extract from the highest grade marijuana plants available today. Using proprietary extraction methods, every bottle of Canapunch is consistently and reliably infused with an exact milligram dosage that you can count on to relieve your symptoms each and every time. Canapunch is delicious. There's never any medicine-y taste. We use only 100% cannabis flowers. No trim or byproducts are ever used in Canapunch. It does not require refrigeration and comes in convenient resealable multi-dose dose bottles, from 60 milligrams to 200 milligrams. We have drinks with dosage that works best for you. Canapunch is available in a variety of delicious flavors like black cherry, watermelon, pineapple mango, and blue raspberry. And we now have strain-specific beverages available just for you. Canapunch is delicious, convenient, consistent, and effective. Give it a try and experience the Canapunch difference.
Independent Records and Videos has been your locally owned and operated choice for music, movies, and lifestyle accessories since 1978. Independent Records and Videos has 7 locations from Denver to Colorado Springs to Pueblo to serve your entertainment needs. Whether it's vinyl, CDs, DVDs, books, smoking accessories, or hundreds of other fun and fanciful items, Independent is ready and waiting to make your dreams come true. We are always buying, selling, and trading vinyl, CDs, books, and DVDs, so sell yours and buy ours. Independent Records and Videos, your entertainment headquarters. Check us out at beindependent.com or on Facebook.
The law offices of Edson, Maton, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188, or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
Ideal 420 soil is preloaded to perfection with all your nutrient, microbial, and biostimulant needs. It's compatible with all strains and is good for a 22-week grow cycle from seed to harvest. This product is 100% organic and gives your marijuana that awesome aroma and smooth taste we all desire. Ideal 420 Technologies is well-grounded in soil chemistry, soil physics, and microbial biology, making them the most advanced soil company in the marijuana industry. They do the science so growers can focus on what truly matters, the plants themselves. No more mixing and feeding of expensive nutrient lines, supplements, and foliar sprays. Not to mention, the company is prideful in being the most consistent soil product that has yet to hit the market. Due to the results when using Ideal 420 soil, they are quickly changing the standard for cannabis cultivation. To order the product, go to ideal420soil.com. Use promo code INTHELAB for an additional 20% off.
I'm Gary Johnson, and you're listening to iCannabis Radio, and I want to say, talk it up, Colorado.
All right, and we're back. We're actually, whoa, or maybe we're not. Technical difficulties here. Actually, we're going through the slideshow on the realm of caring. It's really sweet, and Josh hasn't seen these pictures in a very long time, if any.
Yeah.
If any of them. Okay, so I want to talk about the necklaces. Let's see. Can you see that? No. Can you see that necklace? Can you move that camera up here, honey? So there are Realm of Caring necklaces available for sale to help. It's okay if you can't. Okay, let's see. Can you see that? Let's see. Okay. And then show Josh's. So mine's like kind of clear plastic, and it's got the Realm leaf in it in half the heart. And then it's made with hemp rope. And Josh is a silver pendant that has the Realm of Caring. And I believe they are selling for $15. And of course, all proceeds go to the Realm of Caring and to help all these children and other people. So I believe I'll have to ask the girls because I don't see how you can purchase these online, or maybe they're not ready yet. So I'm probably jumping the gun. But anyway, they are on sale, what I think, for $15. And it's, of course, for an absolute amazing cause.
Yeah, please, when you can see it online, and your parents will get a kick out of this, but go buy a damn necklace.
A damn necklace. Okay, let's talk about TED, because I really want to.
Okay.
So I've never even heard of TED.
And that's
Okay.
really funny because 5 years ago, I told my family who didn't believe in cannabis that one day cannabis would be at a TED Talk. So when she told me that you talked there, I was really, really excited.
So give me the scoop. What is TED? For all those people out there that don't know.
Yeah, TED's an organization for free thinkers, basically.
Okay.
It's it brings about any type of idea or action or nonprofit, whatever it may be, that's out of the box. Whether that's alternative energy, different way to look at life, or now medicinal cannabis. And we were very, very excited to bring the realm and bring medicinal cannabis to it was the Ted had always said no about cannabis. And so if you remember Graham Hancock, he did a talk on DMT and the spirit molecule and ayahuasca and all of these things. Well, they banned that talk. So I wasn't holding my breath. And when I talked to the TEDx Boulder guys and told them what we were doing, they said, oh, yeah, no, this has got to go. You got to be the first cannabis, to talk. Cannabis person. And so it was an honor and a huge honor because there's hundreds of thousands of TED Talks all over the place. There's TED TV that you can order on cable and through the internet.
Really?
Yeah, and TED Talks are inspiring to me anyway. I love watching TED Talks. I've been watching them for years, so you have too. Yeah.
God, I haven't either. Like I don't know where I've been.
If I'm ever feeling down or just want to be inspired, I'll get online and look at a TED Talk. And so it was a very unique honor. It was very challenging. Let's put it that way.
Meaning, so how is it? It's open forum. You give a presentation. I'm just acting like I haven't seen it, just so the audience knows.
Okay. So,
and how can we get yours? I guess.
Well, you can get my TED Talk if you want to go and just go to YouTube and type in Josh Stanley. It'll come up. Josh Stanley, TEDx Boulder. Okay. It'll come up.
Great.
It's about I had 12 minutes is the time that they gave me, and I went 19. So
but I bet it was so interesting. No one stopped you.
Well, I told them I was going to go over, and they said, "Well, we're just going to put you at the last, right before intermission." I said, "Well, that'll be great." TED Talks are difficult because I give a lot of speeches and I give a lot of talks, but I don't typically plan my speeches or my talks. And I'm certainly not timed. And so putting this together, a 20-minute talk like this, to try to hit just about anything and everything of what the realm of caring is doing, about Charlotte's life, Sakai's life, all of these things, it was one of the bigger challenges, I got to say, of my life thus far. Just to have something memorized for 20 minutes and stay on point with that, and your cues, and then you have your PowerPoint in the back that you're controlling. And so just a little venting on my part. It was I'm just whining.
Were you
but
stressed?
I don't get stressed about talking in front of people ever. I got stressed this time because I thought I would forget something. I would leave something out.
Sure. Right.
And when I get up to give a talk or a speech anywhere else, who cares if I leave something out? I can ad-lib it. This is a whole different kind of a story. And when you're in front of 2,200 people in Mackey Auditorium, and
2,200,
yeah,
wow,
sold out. It was
that's so great.
It was daunting, but the night it was made by Charlotte and it was made by Zakai, and them being able to be there with Heather and Frank and Matt and Paige, and then I don't know if you saw, but Chase made an appearance too in the TED Talk. And she ran up on stage and was heckling me from the audience. So it was really cute, and it was really fun. But that's what made it. That's what made the talk. And I hope it moves to TED.com, and I hope it moves to TED TV. But I think that'll be a testament of, do they want to take that leap of faith?
Well, some of your comments on YouTube, by the way, Josh Stanley, there's also a Josh Stanley that's a mix master.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not me.
You got some competition. Just kidding. So it's just amazing. They need to play TED on CBS, NBC, Fox. This is so important. Wow. That's a cool pro-cannabis argument. The kids are dying without it. It's just incredible. That's so great. And the more things like this, though, that people take seriously, I remember Chris Stubbs, my previous scientist, he went and did a, what is that talk? It's just where a bunch of geeks get together and they have a little talk, like, at the bar or something. And so my business partner's buddy runs it. So he said, sure, we'll let, Chris go up there. Well, there was several PhDs and stuff that, of course, are like, well, this is anecdotal. Yeah, that's the point, because we can't study it. But with seizures, that's the thing, is you can see it. It's not like cancer where you You know what I mean? Where it takes a while. Where a seizure, it's like, yeah, when little, who's the teenage boy, Chaz, when, Chaz is seizing and he takes a vaporizer hit and it stops immediately, like, yeah, we know that works. And
You can see it. It's a dynamic change. Whereas you don't have to go through all your cell counts with cancer, and then even after cancer's tough. It's a big gray area right now. Why? Because it's anecdotal, but because a cancer patient's obviously on diet, on all kinds of other types of treatments that you can never really pin down. Was it the cannabis? Was it not the cannabis? Well, of course, I think we know enough to realize that yes, the cannabis is, in many instances, eating cancer cells. Epilepsy is a whole different type of phenomenon, especially a childhood epilepsy. And I've said this before, but people say, well, you need some kind of a double-blind placebo type study. And I said, well, by default, you tell me if Charlotte Figge is cognitively aware enough to know that she's taking a sugar pill. So I think we have that kind of by default. And you see them seizing one day, and then the next week they don't. So we're moving out of the world of anecdotal. It's unfortunate that anyone, especially these children, oh my God, have to go through intractable epilepsy or anything like this. But if you look at things on the bright side, which we try to do, the world would not have a picture of what cannabis could potentially do if it weren't for courageous kiddos like that.
That's for sure.
And we're just getting started.
Wait until Charlotte gets old enough to understand.
Oh, yeah.
That she'll be in all the history books. It's incredible.
Yeah. They'll end up calling it something, Charlotte, not Charlotte's Web.
They better.
Yeah, because now they in effect, potentially have a cure.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to call it.
Okay, well, let me get into something a little less, probably, I don't know. So, Josh, we've been having a lot of talks about extracting and hydrocarbons, blah, blah, blah. And I have a hard time when somebody calls me up and says, okay, it's a parent. I'm looking for some high CBD oil. I'm on the waiting list for the Realm. I have an extremely hard time putting them in touch with somebody that I know extracts with butane. One, because I know that if I had a child, I would not want to do that. And I don't, even, and I test, I'm not going to say, but I've tested a lot of butane samples that, have 0 parts per million or very little, but we just don't know enough about if it changes the molecular structure of cannabis. What would you say to this topic?
Well, I wouldn't put anyone onto a butane extraction. I wouldn't even use it, if you recall, from my dog who passed away from cancer last year.
Yes.
I think molecularly we don't know enough. We haven't been able to study the effects that it can make on it. But I think that looking at the efficacy of it, I think it's pretty clear that there's some change in molecular structure, even if your parts per million are nil. We've looked at everything. We've tried everything. The way that we do our extractions is the cleanest with food grade. And I know, so that's one part. Part two, I know where these parents are coming from. And if my child was dying, I wouldn't want to be on any damn waiting list. I'd want to know, where can I get it? Where can I find it? What can I do that's even second best? So, for them, I don't even know what I would do in that situation if it were my child. And I don't know what I would do in your situation, Jen, because that's not a good situation to be in.
It's not. And you know what I do is I just explain it just like that. There are several different extraction methods. I think there are extraction machines out there that do a great job for butane propane in a licensed lab. I think so. But we just don't know. We just don't know. So if you had a sick kid, I don't know. So I just kind of explain it to them and say, there are other people that have those genetics, but they're not extracting this way, and just let them know.
Sure. And
then it's
there's, there's going to be a
opportunity.
lot more people that come out with high CBD strains. I mean, that's the new thing, right? In California and Colorado, it's going to be all over the place. The Stanley brothers can't help everybody, not even by a
course
long
not.
shot. We want your kids taken care of, whether it's us or somebody else. But I implore whoever else it is out there, do it right. Go through what's proven, and
Right.
follow us as an example. We don't mind that at all. We're not in competition with anyone.
And the fact that you're using a food grade solvent, I mean, I've talked about this this recent study before, but Dr. Arno Hazenkamp out of the Netherlands, he tested ethanol, olive oil, naphtha, and then another similar type of solvent to naphtha. The naphtha and the other solvent had so many, I mean, the naphtha had as much residual solvent molecules as it did terpenoids. It was insane.
Wow.
So
I've never seen, FYI, a clean naphtha.
right, because they're just too.
In my lab, there's never been a clean
It's
naphtha sample
specifically
Really?
it's a mix of so many
that we
different-
know of that tell us, because a lot of
'Cause you
people don't
can't-
want to tell us what they're extracting
Right.
with. But of the people that told us they were testing for naphtha,
You can't molecularly. You can't evaporate those heavy molecules, and there's such a
'Cause that's the
wide
thing, they're
range
super
of
heavy.
different sizes, and there's bonding that goes on. He also found that naphtha changed the cannabinoid chemistry, so it was actually reacting with the. I know, exactly, scary. So he ended with. Since we don't know yet what really happens, you should use food grade solvent. And so out of the ones that he studied, it was just ethanol and olive oil, because you don't know what's going to bond, and then maybe it's not picked up as pure butane or pure ethanol. You don't want to add something to a pure medicine that's potentially harmful. And
Well,
so
right.
food grade is the only safe way to do it, because it's okay to eat it in small traces.
That's right, and I mean, any other methods that we've seen out there, like I said, we haven't tested them, but we have heard and seen that the efficacy is not the same.
but then you look at the people that are grabbing onto Rick Simpson and Phoenix Tears. That was naphtha.
And he talks about how he says it's okay to use naphtha because cannabinoids counteract the bad things in naphtha, but that's not true, because you're
Well, we do not know that scientifically for
right,
sure. There's
and
no way.
cannabinoids may have a protective aspect, but why would you add something that is
Right.
knowingly detrimental to something in its purity is
Well, because then those cannabinoids can work harder on something else than getting rid of the naphtha. If that's the case, right?
Exactly. But we have to be very careful. Everyone has to be very careful what you say.
Agreed.
There's no claim. You can't make a claim like that.
No.
It just can't. You can't do it. The answer, oftentimes, that we don't ever want to fall back or say, I don't know. It's okay.
Yeah, it's totally okay. Right. No, that's so true. That is so true. And just because people are asking doesn't mean you have to have the answer. And the bottom line is, and that's why I tell people with the butane thing, it's like, we just don't know. And that's the scary part about it. We just don't know. It doesn't mean it's bad. It just means we don't know.
That's right. And I won't say anything, horrible about it, and I wouldn't judge a parent for going out and finding that. I'd probably do the exact same thing. But we don't know.
Right. Exactly. And that's totally fine. The other thing, I don't know if we can talk about it on air, so maybe I won't bring it up. But anyway, so how can people help the realm of caring?
Well, the realm of caring needs a lot of help right now. It needs help because of the sheer number of children that we're seeing. There are a number of ways that you can do this through financial donation, certainly on the website. Every one of those pennies is going into decreasing and eliminating any type of waiting list. The realm of caring is now moving into other states.
That's what I was going to actually bring up.
I
So,
figured you were.
so tell us about that, actually, since I made an introduction.
Well, first off, go to the website and make a donation. The realm of
Yes.
caring needs it, and these kids need it. The realm is moving. We have a couple of events. Probably the most the biggest one will be this Saturday in California, And we'll be in Glendale, California. There's over 200 families from California going to be present.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Sanjay Gupta may be showing up
Really?
for that. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Which, I think he's been kind of looking at this and waiting to see, California. He knows all these parents are needing this. Blows me away every time that California, the father of medical marijuana, still doesn't have a program like this.
Wild West. Isn't that sad?
It is.
Very sad.
It's very sad, and it's very sad that the word medical is even used in many places out there. But that's for another day.
Right.
We have I'll be out there giving a talk, and Paige Figge will be out with me, and Ray Mitzelbaum will be there. He's a father of a child in California, a 9-year-old girl, Emily with Dravet. And
hey, I wonder if Jaden's father.
I believe Jason will be there. Yeah.
Jason,
Mm-hmm.
is that his name? Yeah, that was I think Paige saw.
Yep,
that,
I think that
right?
was it. Yeah, Jason David is what
Okay.
prompted Paige. Yeah, I think Jason David will be there. A whole lot of Californians, and then we're there to announce that we have plants in the ground. We have the infrastructure being built as we speak, and we're going to be able to start taking kids off of that California waiting list.
Fantastic. But I hate to say it, I would move to Colorado if I lived in California.
Yeah.
Just saying, unless I was on the beach in a gazillion-dollar home.
Yeah, Colorado, in my opinion, Colorado's better.
Colorado is pretty awesome, so.
But we're going to we'll have a place in Southern California, Northern California.
Cool.
And then, like I said, I think we're real close to be able to move the realm of carrying into places like Oklahoma.
Ugh.
I really do.
How
And
great
Utah.
would that be? And Utah and Alabama and Louisiana and all those places. Well, that's fantastic, but they can't do it without your help. So even $1, $10, $25, you can write it off. It's all tax deductible, and why not give it to the realm of caring instead of the IRS? How about that? Anyway, all right. Any last things? We're actually running a little late.
Well, I just want to say thank you for having me on here again. It's sure good to see all you again.
You are so welcome, honey, and we'll have you back on in a couple months.
Great.
All right. All right. See you later.